The hiring cycle for NFL coaches this offseason was absolutely wild. There were key names who stayed in their coordinator jobs, legendary coaches that drew very little interest, and a lot of old faces getting some looks at key openings. For instance, there's news today surfacing that the Dallas Cowboys interviewed current ESPN analyst Rex Ryan for their vacant defensive coordinator opening. Now, Rex Ryan historically is a defensive guru, but looking back, last time he coached in the NFL was 2016. That's 8 years ago, leaving many Cowboy fans to tweet their continued frustrations with what Cowboy reporter RJ Ochoa called an unserious team. But wait, I thought Jerry Jones promised just a couple of days ago that he was going to go all in this year with his Dallas Cowboys.
So my point is, that doesn't change a thing. Okay. We'll go as far as Dak takes us.
Now, who knows? Maybe Rex would be a good hire, but with plenty of other names still floating around the league, it's no wonder Cowboy fans seem upset with the best option for DC being a guy who's ripped their Cowboys defense time and time again on ESPN.
This defense stunk. And that's you want to why'd they lose? Why'd they look like crap? Why'd they get out coached? I don't know. But point to the defense, period.
Now, the other interesting news that happened just a couple of minutes ago was Andy Reid revealing to the media that just days before the Chiefs went ahead and took on the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC Championship game, fired offensive coordinator Eric Bienemey was back in the building talking about what exactly the team needed to do to get back to the Super Bowl. Apparently, it resonated with the team. I mean, listen to Patrick Mahomes here tell reporters just this morning that he got goosebumps listening to Eric Bienemey's pregame speech.
Listening to him talk and his energy, I mean, it just kind of got everybody, you guys, but I think guys had a little bit of like chill bumps in there, like, hey, we got EB's back here, and obviously he didn't get that head coaching opportunity, but I'm excited for him to continue to coach football and to continue to make his impact on the game.
Now, Eric Bienemey was the offensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders this past year, but with new head coach Dan Quinn reportedly coming in and cleaning house, hiring Kliff Kingsbury instead of keeping EB, it seems like a lock for Bienemey to go back to Kansas City, where he will be either an offensive assistant, an offensive analyst, maybe future offensive coordinator. I don't know. Just crazy to me that no one seems to want to give Eric Bienemey a chance, like at all, whether he's an offensive guru or not. It's crazy that he's been a part of so many really good offenses, and yet there isn't an NFL team that wants to give him either a head coaching job or even make him an OC not named Kansas City. Although maybe former Chiefs running back Shady McCoy had the answer a couple of years ago when he told a podcast that Bienemey's not really a player's coach.
Me and the coordinator, then we had a difference about different things, right? And I'm going to say this. It's the reason why every year they keep hyping him up to get a coaching job, a head coach or offense coordinator job for somewhere else, and you don't get one because
he's talking about Eric Bienemey.
Yeah, and the players.
You're bringing this up now when we got a minute to
like,
show
I'm
them.
the truth. Listen, because some players, right, he talks to them a certain way, and some players would take it. I wouldn't take it. Like, whoa, and some question I would ask, everybody's accountable.
Yeah.
That's why it's not because he's a black coach. That's not the reason. The reason that because I won't get into that, but I'll say this. But it's the reason why that every year they hype him up to get a job, and then when the time comes, nobody hires him because they know what type of coach he really is.
Now, speaking of running backs, there are new reports surfacing today that the Giants are not planning on tagging superstar running back Saquon Barkley, and he will indeed hit the open market as a free agent in March per ESPN. Many teams are expected to pursue the two-time Pro Bowl back, including an NFC East team and the Chargers. Now, Barkley's coming off a year where he signed a $10 million franchise tag, and right before the season started after holding out for a couple of months. He finished just 38 yards short of 1,000 yards on the ground with the Giants, but that report mentioned that not only is he going to be a free agent, but he's going to have a lot of suitors, including an NFC East team and the Chargers, whose name keeps popping up. And when asked about going to Los Angeles just today on the Kay Adams Show, he didn't seem to hate the idea.
If you were available, you and Eckler in the backfield sounds kind of nice.
Yeah. I got nothing.
LA? You could be closer to me.
I got nothing but respect for Coach Harbaugh. Obviously, the success he had in the NFL before, playing against him in college, and I'm a big fan of Justin Herbert too. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. But hey, if the opportunity was able to present itself, I definitely wouldn't be against it. But like I said, only can control what I can control. And right now it's chilling, relaxing, and watch the Super Bowl just like everybody else.
Now, before we get to the other superstar who could be on the move this offseason, I want to give a big shout out to everybody who subbed to the new channel. 2 days, over 1,000 subscribers. Cannot thank you guys enough. Hit that sub button if you haven't. And as I mentioned, I randomly picked one person who subscribed to the channel to give away a brand new Eagles jersey. That is Jassuarez7082. All you got to do, DM me on Twitter @RealThomasMott or shoot me an email, thomasmottshow@gmail.com. Send me your info, and I'll go ahead and get that jersey sent out to you. Now, as mentioned, Saquon's not the only big name probably on the move, as ESPN got the trade wheels rolling just the other day after a report that the Vikings are very interested in trading up for a quarterback in April's upcoming first round of the NFL draft. Now, in order to do that, Colin Cowherd suggests Minnesota send their first-round pick plus Justin Jefferson to the Patriots for number 3 overall, where they could get Jaden Daniels or Drake May or the quarterback of their choice.
We had Colin Cowherd there yesterday going over the draft, and he's jumping off of a Jeremy Fowler, I want to say report. Yeah, sure. A Jeremy Fowler report on ESPN that said there's some teams interested in moving up. Vikings might be one of them. Colin put 2 and 2 together and said Vikings from 11 to 3 for their next year's first rounder and Justin Jefferson. Oh, I do this 1,000%. 1,000%. 1,000 out of 1,000. And I just can't. Maz, you're right to think of the money. It's the biggest issue in the whole thing. But I just can't. I can't sit here and say, well, the Pats won't do that because they won't pay him. I just want to act like they're a normal football team. Okay?
I know, but they're not.
That get a 25-year-old. That's what Justin Jefferson. He's 25.
He's awesome. He's the best receiver in the league, probably.
He's 25.
Yeah.
He's not 29.
Correct.
He's 25. So you got, probably 4 or 5 years of prime runway.
Correct.
With Justin Jefferson.
Correct.
Now, personally, if I was Minnesota and I wanted to start fresh with a brand new quarterback, get rid of Kirk Cousins, I'd want my superstar wide receiver in the building. Hopefully make the transition from being a collegiate quarterback to an NFL quarterback much easier. We've seen plenty of rookie quarterbacks with not a lot of talent, not a lot of weapons around them struggle until they get that superstar wide receiver. However, the flip side of this is Jefferson seemingly has been upset in Minnesota the past couple of seasons, especially since he hasn't won much there in a Minnesota Vikings uniform, and his contract is about to be up, or he's now going to be owed $30+ million with a brand new deal probably this offseason. So if you want to get rid of him now, you better do it quickly in order to get something in return. Now, I think the best story of the week has to be an anonymous GM telling the Athletic's Diana Rossini that the reason Mike Vrabel, another one of these head coaches who is not going to be a coach this year, didn't get a job is because he's apparently a really big person.
What is your sense of why Vrabel doesn't have a head coaching job right now?
I don't think that there was a fit for him. I don't think he sat in front of any owner who thought that his style was going to work for what they were looking for. Do you know I had a GM at the Senior Bowl who mentioned to me Vrabel's physical build, that he's a very large human being and can be very intimidating to people in an organization that are going to be part of these decisions. And that is a factor, which I laughed. I said, stop. That's not something that's real. Who cares what someone physically looks like? And he said, I'm just telling you, I've been in rooms and somebody's physical presence can make a difference.
Now, you can believe what you want. It doesn't mean that that's the only reason why Mike Vrabel is not a head coach in the NFL this season. I think a lot of people want the next Sean McVay, the next Kyle Shanahan, the next young offensive guru to be their guy. And the fact that Vrabel has had a lot of success defensively, but very little on offense, probably turned a lot of teams off in terms of bringing him into the building, whether he's over 6'4" or not. Now, there's plenty more content happening on this brand new channel dedicated to the National Football League and the biggest stories happening each and every week. Trying to get 2 or 3 shows. Make sure you guys subscribe, comment, hit the thumbs up button as well to help grow the algorithm and grow this channel. It's going to become your one-stop shop, short 10, 15-minute format of all the latest NFL news. That's my goal to you, and I appreciate you guys going ahead and jumping on and joining me for the ride. I'm Thomas Mott. This has been your Daily Football.